Hello, I am Drickz and this is my spotlight of the Inferno creatures' abilities and uses in combat. I will go through every one of these creatures solo versus other creatures, a couple of creatures, and I will tell you a little bit about them. I played the Inferno campaign, so if you want to learn even more about the uses of them in combat, real combat, I have to point you to my playthrough of the Inferno campaign. But anyway, I will go through the Demented, the Cerberus, the Lilium, the Breeder Mother, the Lacerator and the Ravager. And do not forget the Pit Lord. The Demented is the upgraded version of the Maniacs, and they have two special abilities that they have. Twisted Mind makes it immune to mind affecting abilities such as Puppet Master and Enthrall. They cannot be mind controlled. The second ability is Manic Laughter. They drain 1 attack damage or might power from the creature they attack and take it for themselves. But the effect is dispelled when... So I will just regenerate on that one. Here we go. I attack that one and hopefully it will not die. I stole one attack power from it and gave myself 1 attack power. I can do the same with this Demented, but I think we will be even as they both steal from each other. Reduce damage of each enemy creature in the stack. Increase damage of each creature on the Demented stack. So Demented steal attack damage from each other. That is the Demented, and I find them to be the worst asset to the Inferno army, but they are useful for attacking large stacks of, for example, Dementeds that can't retaliate anymore. They are good for weakening other creatures in the enemy army. Large stacks of core creatures that, large numbers. They are good at fighting large numbers to weaken them. That is the Demented. The Lilium is a fairly good ranged damage dealer with special abilities such as Enthrall and Rupture in Agony. Enthrall puts your target to sleep for up to 2 turns, and depending on the stack size and hierarchy. So if this stack would have been 400, it would only have been 1 turn, as then this stack would have to be 400 to keep the full effect. The Enthrall ability is dispelled if they take damage. That was patched not long ago. As you can see, they do fairly good damage, and the range doesn't matter as they have no range penalty. The second ability, Rupture in Agony, deals 20% of damage taken back to the attacker, and the damage taken is dealt before armor puts in or might resistance. So these Lacerators will do 800 damage on my Liliums before armor puts in. They will take 20% of that damage back to them, but they will not do up to 800 damage on my Liliums. Let's demonstrate. If they wouldn't do that. There we go. As you can see, 150 damage done 150 damage taken by the Demented. The Cerberus is, in my opinion, the strongest damage dealer in the Inferno army. It has a long run distance, and it can attack 2 targets if they stand close to each other, or even 3 targets sometimes. It has unlimited retaliation, which makes it good for placing nearby your enemy if they are dumb enough to attack it. It also applies the Eye of Gluttony if it attacks 1 target and doesn't kill it. Yes, Voracious. It can deal damage to everything in front of it, 2 or 3 targets at a time. It cannot kill stuff diagonally. And that is the Cerberus. Let's see it in action. So, what do I want to do with Cerberus? Well, it has a very high damage threshold. So, defend, and you want to open up with it is reinforced. They will always go for your Cerberus if they are in your army. Flawless Assault is very good to get them to max damage, as their max minimum damage is it's a very high gap. And I have Cleave on this hero, which makes them very effective for killing anything. I'll tell you anything. There we go. Kill large stacks, and it will retaliate to both Lacerator and the Demented. There is the Cerberus. A high damage dealing core unit. The core of your army. The breeders are the stronger ranged creatures of the Inferno army, and they have special abilities as proliferation. The breeder grows by 20% at the start of combats, as in it will have even more creatures than you would actually have. So they have 50 right now. On this stack of 262 I have 52 more that I can't save them, but if they will die instead of my initial breeders. So it's like a meat shield if you don't want to lose creatures. Works the same as reinforcements. And Mana Leech. It will drain 5% of the enemy hero's current mana and give it to my hero. It is very good for magic heroes. And it seems like the breeder likes to play ball and also play music. Well, that's the breeder. It's mainly a damage dealer, as you can see. It will just do damage, but it pairs up well with Cleave as well as just as the Cerberus do. They actually have range penalties, so a skill that removes the range penalties is good. For example, Storm Arrows would be really good on the breeders, because then they can do their maximum damage. You see, they are in range of my breeders now. It will do the maximum damage. If this one wouldn't have a lot of defense. But you get my point. The Lacerator is the squishy damage dealer in the elite creature tier of the Inferno army, and it has special abilities such as exploding spikes, which deal 125% of its attack damage to all creatures around it in a square, and taste of pain. Every time the Lacerator deals damage or is dealt damage, damage of its next attack is increased by 15%, stacks up to 4 times. So in long battles they can do up to 60% more damage if they get to hit or are hit a lot. Let's see them in action. Now that the Lilium will attack it, it will probably, yes, 1 stack of Taste of Pain. I will actually not do anything. I will let it retaliate and I will let them gather around me. Oh right, I waited. Well, I will defend myself then, because I want to show you a fully stacked Taste of Pain with spikes. Taste of Pain is stacked up to 30%, 45%, 60%. Now, exploding spikes. This is a very large stack, so it does a lot of damage. But you get the point. It is very good to have them in the middle of a huge pile of creatures in the middle of the battlefield. As said before, they are very good damage dealers, but they are kind of squishy. The Ravager is the tankiest of the Inferno elite creatures. It has organic armor which prevents it from being debuffed. On the defensive side they can't lose magic and might defense. They also have the highest health of the elite creatures in the Inferno army. A base health of 100, and they also have the highest initiative in the Inferno army. They are supposed to be tanks, but they are also very good damage dealers, in my opinion. This, if you can see here, they have Taunting Presence and Unstoppable Charge. I will show you them in a moment. As you can see, if they stand around for too long, they will start dancing and music will be played. Well, let's try out the Taunting Presence. If I move my Ravager here, it will taunt them. And just passing through these, it forces both this Tormentor and this Hellhound to attack it. They cannot attack anything else. So, let's try out the Unstoppable Charge. It is their active ability that they will run in a direction and hit everything around them. So you have to make sure you don't do it close to your own creatures. It will hurt them a lot. For example, I can do this. I can move him there and he will pass the Tormentor. And if I would move him there, I would also hit the Lilium. I'll show you. So, he will hit that stack and then taunt them. That is the Ravager. The Pit Lord is the Inferno champion unit. Champion creature as well. They play baseball on their off time and they have 4 special abilities that make them unique. The first ability is an active ability, Boundless Hate. It deals damage to every enemy creature on the field, fire damage, based on the size of the Pit Lord stack. The second ability is Hateful Retaliation. When retaliating, the Pit Lord deals damage, fire damage, to all creatures that have previously hit him. So, if the Lilium attacks the Pit Lord and then the Lacerators attack the Pit Lord will retaliate to both the Lacerator and the Lilium through hateful retaliation. And if some other ranged creatures have also hit him, they will also take damage from hateful retaliation. Blade of Hatred is when the pit lords hit a creature stack, they will turn insane or they will hate anything. So the closest stack adjacent to them, they will hit. Even it doesn't matter if it's an enemy or a friend, they will just hit randomly the closest stack during their next turn. So they will lose their turn, but they will still hit something. If there are no creatures nearby, they will just lose their turn. And the last ability, Blind by Rage. The Pit Lord is immune to harmful mind influence and their effects reducing movement. They cannot be slowed down, so they will always run or fly. They are flyers. They will always fly as far. And they cannot be debuffed by decay and those sorts of debuffs. This Lacerator has Blade of Hatred on it. This blaze has some sprites flying around it, and it will now attack the Demented because it was affected by the Blade of Hatred. And there is the hateful retaliation. And just to demonstrate, here is a large stack of Pit Lords with boundless hate. It will do lots of damage to everything on the battlefield. And back at the main menu, I'd like to thank you for watching my Inferno Creatures ability spotlight. And if you want to learn more about how you should really fight with your demons, you should turn to my Inferno campaign playthrough. Episodes 30 to 50, they are the best ones, where I just plow through anything with my skilled up hero. If you watch them, you'll certainly learn something about it, but you sure should experiment yourself and maybe tell me something that I should know. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.